much. This has been a big issue for Tennessee Republican Congressman Mark Green. He's kind enough to join us right now. Congressman, I know there are a number of U.S. miners who are concerned they could get bypassed in all of this in an effort to spread the wealth beyond China. What do you tell them?
Well, we're pushing for them. We're supporting them. Here in Tennessee, we have a very large supply of titanium. And right now, for example, Boeing Airlines, they're buying their titanium from Russia still. So what we're trying to do is just make sure they get the support. We've got to change the supply chain because it takes a vertically integrated supply chain to make this happen. Currently, that's all. 90% of it anyway is in China. 16 of the 17 rare earths are controlled by China. So we have to get on the ball and get this done.
Have the Chinese actually been stingy with this? Obviously, there's a demand for this sort of stuff, but have you seen indications that they know they've got a lot of it, most of it, when it comes to lithium, for example, and they're going to take full advantage of it?
Well, we are very concerned about the conversation next week with Secretary Austin and what the Chinese are going to say. We're having briefings on that in Congress right now, but so far the market has not been stymied by them on price nor on the supply.
Let me switch gears, if you don't mind, sir, and talking about the 100th day of the war in Ukraine. This is obviously lasting a heck of a lot longer than Vladimir Putin thought. But he's actually upped the ante. He now, even by President Zelensky's estimates, controls fully 20% of the country, a little more if you include Crimea. I'm just wondering what that says of Putin's future ambitions, like a wear down to gain more ground, or what?
Well, following Putin's strategic objectives is a little bit difficult, and I'd submit that he hasn't achieved a single strategic objective. Now, tactically, the past week has been very bad for the Ukrainians. Russia seized another city. They've seized a good portion of a third city in the Donetsk region. They're doing very, very well. Now, in the Donbas, they can't seem to get, they're not able to maneuver on the Ukrainians in the Donbas. So it's sort of a, small victories and small defeats right now on the tactical level, but Russia has not achieved its strategic objective.
Congressman, when I have you, I always like to pick your brain on this stuff because you're good intelligence. You don't have to share every detail of that. But we hear these reports that Vladimir Putin is actually a very sick man, that he might have terminal cancer. Others saying he's dealing with a variety of, you name it, illnesses. Is it true that his health is compromised and his behavior proves it?
I think from a behavioral health standpoint, anytime you isolate yourself, remember the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Fall of the House of Usher, which was sort of representative of the mind of Roderick Usher as he isolated himself further into the home. That isolation resulted in his insanity and fall. And I think Vladimir Putin has done something very similar. He has very few inputs. He's isolated. He doesn't even come back to the Kremlin. And that isolation is affecting his decision making. So in terms of his physical health, there's nothing that I can say right now, but clearly behaviorally, that isolation has made some really bad decisions happen.
Well, I know when Vincent Price played that role, it didn't end well. So we'll have to watch that. But
no.
Thank you, Congressman. Very good seeing you. Be safe this weekend.
Thanks, Neil.
Congressman Mark Green of Tennessee sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Armed Services Committee, combat veteran. More to the point, he served this country very nobly, very well.